What's up, dudes? I'm the Dominicator, also known as Master Dominic, and in this video I'm gonna hypnotize you just as a pat on the head for being good. So, mute any distractions and continue when you're ready to get hypnotized. Alright, to begin, just look at the pocket watch in front of you, and as you're looking at that watch, the more that you do, and the more that it sways back and forth, the more that you feel a wonderfully heavy and mind-melting feeling, as if with each and every single sway, it takes your gaze with you, even more, and with each and every single swing of it, you can feel a wonderfully heavy drip and drop of a mind-melting feeling that just drips and drops right on top of the surface of your mind. Then, as you listen to the sound of my voice, and more that you do, the more that you can feel a wonderfully warm and masculine dominant feeling. It just feels so good, so nice, so wonderfully silky and smooth. The more that you listen to the sound of my voice, the more that you just want to sink down, to fall down, to float down even deeper and further and more into it. There's something about it that just feels so good. It gives you a nice and a tingly feeling right on the back of your head. There's something about the sound of my voice, an awesome, wonderful, warm, and dominant feeling, and that just makes you feel so good. And it just makes you want to sink down, to float down, to drop down, to snap down even more, even deeper, even further, and even faster in a wonderful, deeply and totally relaxed, passive, and even obedient state in which you feel even more of that tingly and tickly feeling, the feeling of just being pat on the head. There's something about that which just feels so good. You can feel an alluring feeling, pulling, drawing, magnetic, tugging feeling that begins to tug on your eyelids and on your mind as well. It just wants to snap down even more into a state of sleep with the snap of my fingers in the word sleep. And in a moment that will happen, when it does, it will just feel so good. You'll feel even more of that tingly and wonderful feeling just course and surge all throughout you as you just relax even deeper into an even more obedient, passive state. Now just sleep, and as you do, and feel that wonderfully tingly feeling that just feels so good. That just feels so good, and the more that you feel that, then the better and better that you feel. The more that you simply take in the sound of my voice, the more that it feels just as if they're pets right across the very surface of the hairs on your head. Just as if the sound of my voice is petting you. And there's something about it that just feels so good, so nice, so wonderfully relaxing, and just has such a sleep-like and a dream-like quality to it. The more that you feel that, the better and better that you feel. All of your cares and worries, stresses and tensions just melt away as they drip and drop, fall and fade away, and just fade out of existence. And the more that it happens, the better and better that you feel, the more that you relax, and the more that your mind just melts away. Your mind just melts away, your thoughts just melt away, as they're replaced by the sound of my voice, that wonderful, nice and happy, satisfied feeling that you have from simply following the suggestions that I give you. And there's something that just feels so good about that. And then perhaps you've followed suggestions that I've given you in the past. And for that now, you can feel even more of a wonderfully tingly, happy feeling of that wonderful stroking happiness that just courses, that just surges right across the ends of the hairs on your head. There's something about it that just feels so wonderful, so nice, and so approving that you want even more of it. There's something that just feels so good even more about following, about obeying the commands that I've given you. You feel even more and more intensely the feeling, the wonderful pleasure of these pets that are just washing and surging, coursing over the top of your head. It just feels so good. Following and obeying the commands that I give you. It just feels so good to have such a powerful, dominant, masculine male authority figure just petting you, and to have such a powerful and dominant master to follow, to obey. The more that you do, the more that you feel the intensity of the wonderful tingly feeling that just washes over your scalp. It just feels so good. That becomes exactly what you want to do, just to follow and to obey your master. And you have that feeling even now as you drip down, as you drop down, as you fall down and float down even more and deeper. into that wonderfully relaxed and pleasant state, with your mind, your thoughts just melting away. You don't want to think about anything at all. You don't have to think about anything at all. You don't need to think about anything at all. All that you have to do is just to follow and to obey your master. And that just feels so good. Just being a good pet for your master, and just being a good boy for your master. The more that you are, the better that you feel. And the more that you feel a feeling of connection to your master, the more that you feel an awesome, a wonderful, warm, and masculine, dominant presence that just follows you around and that you carry with you all throughout your day. It's an awesome and a wonderful feeling that you have whenever you follow and obey my commands. A feeling of that pat on the head. And there's something that just feels so good, so awesome, so wonderful, and so dominating about that pat on the head. It just makes you want to and need to follow and to obey the commands, the suggestions that I've given you so far. And the more that you do, and even more intensely that you feel that wonderful petting feeling, the more that you feel a feeling of loyalty to your master, a feeling of connection to your master, and a feeling of worship for your master. That just feels so good, just to sink down, fall down, drop down even more underneath that wonderful, warm, and masculine, dominant influence. It's something that just feels so good about those wonderful, warm pets that it just makes you want to follow and to obey any of the other suggestions, any of the other commands that I've given you. And then after you rise on, lift on, wake up from this wonderful, wonderful dreamlike sleep, then you will go out and seek out those other suggestions, those other commands that I've given you, other videos that I made, and other things that I've commanded my audience and others to do. You'll find those things that you feel most gravitated towards, and you will watch those videos, you will follow and obey those commands, and as you do so, you will enter an even deeper state of worship for your master, and it just feels so good. You will comment on videos that you have even commented on before, and as you do, you'll feel a renewed feeling of a connection and the dominance of your master, a wonderful feeling of submission to your master that just feels so good. It feels so good just to be such a good and obedient servant and worshiper for your master. The more that you are, the better that you feel, and more than any and all the cares, worries, stresses, and tensions, anxieties that you have, they just melt away, float away, and fade away. Now though, in a moment's time, I'm going to count you up from 1 to 5. And as I count you up, then you'll feel yourself lifting back up into a nice, a wonderful, happy, relaxed, and half awake, half asleep state. And when you're in that nice and half awake and half asleep state, then you will leave a comment for me. You will leave a comment for me that says, "Thank you, Master, for dominating my mind, Master." You will leave a comment that says, "Thank you, Master, for dominating my mind, Master." And when you leave that comment, it will just feel so good. A wonderful rush, a feeling of all the stresses, cares, worries, tensions, thoughts just oozing right out of your mind. The moment that you leave that comment, "Thank you, Master, for dominating my mind, Master," it will just feel so good. And now beginning with that count of 1 to 5. And from 1, beginning to lift up, rise up, float up, and bubble up. It just feels so good as you do. 2, coming up even more and faster. 3, already halfway there, just feeling so good. 4, almost all the way up now. And 5, and eyes open and wide awake, my dudes. Alright, check out Dominicator.com for some goodies, and I'll catch you later, dudes.